Hello and welcome to today's webinar, 5 Proven Ways to Increase Sales Using Social Media. Wanted to quickly introduce myself. My name is Michelle Hummel. I am the CEO and founder of Web Strategy Plus, a full-service digital marketing agency. Also, founder of Web Media University, where I offer social media training and certifications nationwide. Founder of the Franchise Success Team, where I have gathered a team of experts to assist people in the franchise industry, as well as social media enthusiasts, where I've established 22 chapters nationwide. I've been recently nominated for the Woman-Owned Business of the Year and awarded the Cincinnati Business Person of the Year. I'm the published author of 3 books in my series, The Social Media Magnet, now available on Amazon. I also hold a valuable internet marketing degree. However, I do strive to learn something new every single day. Wanted to talk a bit about Web Strategy Plus. I have owned this agency for 10 years, and our tagline is strategy plus content plus social equals results. So whether you require a professional website or need help promoting it, we can help you with it all. We are a one-stop shop providing cost-effective web strategies that drive real results to grow your business. So I want to get started here with step 1, and that's to create the best first impression online. What's important is to know that Google thinks differently today. People no longer blindly trust everything they see or hear. They really want social proof. A good example of that is a couple months ago, I decided to get my yoga teacher certification. So the first thing I did is go out to Google and search for yoga teacher schools. And as I searched online, I came upon a website and I clicked on the link and I explored their site. And then I also found their Facebook page. So I clicked to their Facebook page and I found that they had a lot of likes. So that was promising. As I looked through the people who liked their page, I found that one of my really good friends actually liked it. And so I sent her a message right away on Facebook, and I asked her what she thought of that teacher training. She said, Michelle, it was amazing. It was a life-changing experience. She made lifelong friendships, and she said, if you do decide to do it, please take lots of pictures and tell me how it went. Well, right there was a huge validation for me to hear. And so it helped me make that decision on taking that trip. And by the way, it was a very expensive trip. It was actually 2 weeks in Hawaii. It required me to take time off, to invest in the program, and to take all kinds of big decisions. So it was something that I didn't choose lightly. And so because I had a good friend of mine vouching for it, it absolutely helped me make that big decision. So again, social proof matters. The other thing to know is that websites actually are ranked based on how much social media activity they have. And think about the job that Google has to rank who shows up on page 1 when they have millions of websites to decide from. The websites that show up on page 1 are typically the ones that have the most likes, the shares and comments, because all of those actions count as votes of web page quality. So when it comes to a website on one hand that is static, doesn't have a blog, hasn't been updated in years, versus another website that has all of that social media activity, the one with the activity is actually going to rank higher. So that's how important social media is to our strategy today. Another important fact is 70% of consumers trust peer recommendations over advertising. So the fact is, we've gone blind to advertising. I tend to do this as well. When I open up my Google, I skip right past the ads and I look to see who shows up in the organic search results. Because I realized that the people that show up in the ads, they paid to be there. But the people that show up organically probably have a solid reputation, and that's why they're showing up on page 1. So that's a pretty good thing to know. What's important today is blogs that answer frequently asked questions, consistent daily posts on your social media proof, and quality content. So I want to talk a bit more about why your business needs a blog posting strategy. Your blog is literally your social media hub. It is the most critical component of your social media strategy. Everybody who's doing social media must have a blog strategy in place. The reason for this is search engines love fresh content. Anytime you publish a new blog, you're giving an indication to Google that you have another piece of content that they need to crawl, index, and robots pick up those keywords and rank that content based on what shows up. So this is how you can influence search engines, is by having a strong blog posting strategy. I know of a customer who actually blogged every day for 30 days, trying to rank for a particular keyword set, and sure enough, they did. I'm not saying you have to blog every day for 30 days, but that just shows the example of how powerful blogging really is to influence. So making sure that when you're writing your blogs, that the keywords you want to rank for are within that content. So a tip that I tell clients is write down 10 of the keywords you want to be known for, found for, and make sure that those keywords are in your descriptions of your business and your blog content. Make sure that that shows up, because remember, Google is a robot and it is reading keywords. And so you want to make sure that we're feeding it the correct information so that we get the best results. This strategy will also improve your organic search results, which are, of course, below the ads. It also helps you build immediate trust by answering frequently asked questions on search, which can result in a faster sale. Imagine if your customer went out to Google to look for the answer to the question, and your blog shows up on page 1. There are 3 things that have to happen in order for someone to buy from you. They have to know you, like you, and trust you. So if you show up on page 1 of Google, now they know you. If you answer their question in your blog post, now they trust you. And if you can get them to sign up for an email newsletter and you continuously send them content that's helpful, that's going to help you get to the know, like, trust factor. So that's really how blogs can really influence your strategy and make it faster to the sale. So make sure that you're promoting your blogs in targeted groups to drive quality web traffic. And the way you do that is you make sure that if you're posting your blogs out on LinkedIn, that you're posting it to the right groups so that the right people can see the content and click back to your website. Also want to talk about your action plan. So in my trainings, I also like to have little things that you can take home with you, basically, so that when you leave here today, you have some ideas of how to get started. So I'd like for you to write down 2 frequently asked questions that you can use right now to write blog posts. Also, another tip is to convert those frequently asked questions into videos. Everyone has a cell phone, which means you can create videos, and that would be another great way to take that content and also make it into video content, which search engines love as well. So I want to talk about why your business needs an SEO keyword strategy. So believe it or not, 75% of users never scroll past the first page of search results, which means if you're on page 2 or 3, you may never be seen. So we really need to make sure that our SEO keyword strategy is solid. Ranking high on search engines obviously builds trust and credibility, and it also helps us reach people who are looking for exactly what your business offers. So again, it's very important to take inventory of those keywords you want to be known for, found for, and make sure that that is part of your messaging. And when you do this, you can also measure which search keywords are the most valuable to your business by seeing what keywords are driving traffic to your website now versus what is being driven after you adjust your strategy. Also want to talk about why it's important to have a Google My Business page. Well, Google still is the #1 search engine in the world. And interestingly enough, anytime you play in their sandbox, it seems that you get better search results with any of their tools and networks that they have to offer. So having an active Google My Business page will actually help with your rankings. So for example, if you go out to Google and you search Web Strategy Plus, our Google My Business page shows up on the right-hand side in its huge prominent placement. Heat map testing has indicated that the eyeballs actually go straight to that Google My Business page when they open it up. So that just shows how noticeable that placement is. Obviously, what you want to have there is 5-star reviews. You can also post your events and your social media content on your Google My Business page. You can add images, and there's actually a strategy to do so many posts and so many images on your Google My Business page to keep those rankings high. That's something our team knows how to do. But what's important is when somebody Googles your business name, that Google My Business page shows up first. So that is something that is free. You can easily create a Google My Business page, but you need to make sure that you're taking those steps to keep it active and that you're making sure your brand looks good. It is your first impression. So having positive Google My Business reviews makes a big difference. A lot of times people will just look at the reviews, see your phone number, call you up, go to your website. They'll make split decisions based on a good reputation. And the fact is, if you don't brand yourself, Google will. So you definitely want to take advantage of that. Also, how is your personal brand? Potential customers are searching for you online. What are they finding? It's really important to Google your name. Your name is your personal reputation. So when you hand somebody a business card, sure, you work for XYZ company, but who are you as a person to work with? So keep in mind that people are actually doing their homework on who you are. And so you really need to take inventory of what shows up for your name online. Something to consider possibly is getting yourname.com. And if it's not available, you could do, for example, michellehummelmarketing.com, or get creative with that domain. But this is something that you really want to consider doing, and especially since you are a personal brand of itself. This is really helpful if you're an author, a speech teacher, doing any kind of consultant work. This is going to help you tremendously to get this professional image out there. And something to note, 9 out of 10 times the top search result will be your LinkedIn profile, which leads me to this question. Do you have a strong LinkedIn profile, and why you may need to update that LinkedIn profile today? Well, it is the top search result for your name once in Google. And most likely someone is keyword searching for your services right now on LinkedIn. So something that I teach is the default of your profile, where I see all the keywords for myself, CEO, digital agency, franchise marketing. I actually change that because it defaults to say CEO of Web Strategy Plus, but what you can do is change that headline to have the keywords that you want to be known for, found for, and this will help you show up on the LinkedIn search engine much faster. So make sure that those keywords are throughout your LinkedIn profile. This platform absolutely helps you demonstrate thought leadership. I get probably 70% of my leads from LinkedIn just using the free version. I also call it my virtual Rolodex, because as I'm going to networking events and I have my cell phone, I can very easily bring up my LinkedIn app and make connections. It's also your ultimate personal branding platform. So make sure that you absolutely have everything filled out, all of your certifications, volunteer, everything, because you never know when somebody looks at your profile and they make a connection with something that you do, whether it's a volunteer that they have in common, or if it's a certification, there could be something that sparks a conversation. So you want to make sure that you have that fully filled out. And also make sure that you delete duplicate accounts, because there's nothing more frustrating than trying to connect with someone and seeing their name several times with several accounts, and also could create a bad image if somebody sees that you haven't connected with them when you would definitely want to, just because you just haven't taken inventory of an extra account that you might have. Also make sure that you have a professional headshot, because I like to say LinkedIn is kind of the suit and tie, where Facebook is you're in pajamas, relaxed, eating cereal, watching cat videos. So it's a very different environment. You want to show up very professional on the LinkedIn platform. Also want to talk about how you can easily make connections with the LinkedIn app. A lot of people don't realize this amazing tool that's available to them through the LinkedIn app. So I would like for you to take a look at your LinkedIn app on your cell phone and search for these functions. So when you open up the app, in the top right-hand corner, you're going to click on the QR code icon. And second, you're going to click on Scan. And then you're going to click on My Code. And you may never have realized that you actually have a QR code that you can print out, and you can put it on marketing materials at a trade show. You could have people just scan your code so they can connect with you online. All kinds of really neat things that you can do. But basically, as you're standing there with someone, you can have one person be the scanner and one person show their code and make a connection with them immediately in person, which is an amazing way to connect at networking events. Another strategy is if you are in a room of individuals, say you're doing a teaching event, a speaking event, you can connect with everybody in that room by doing the following steps. So you go to your LinkedIn app and you click My Network. Then you click the head sign where it shows the little head there with the plus. You click on that button. And then you have to click on Turn Find Nearby On. So this will require your Bluetooth to be turned on, which is fine because it just turns on for this connection activity. And amazingly enough, everybody's name in that room will show up in a list. And you can simply click the plus sign and add every single person in that room. How amazing is that, that you can connect with everyone all at one time right there at an event? So some cool tips to share with you guys to help you make the most of your LinkedIn strategy. So when I go into questions you should ask yourself when it comes to your marketing, do you have a social media hub? What is that? It is absolutely your blog. That is your blog. And do you drive traffic back to your website with original blog content? That's how we're going to be getting people back to our website. So think about blogs as a great way to educate people. You always want to have an educated buyer coming to you. You know, somebody who may not have thought that they're going to buy this franchise today, but you've placed this article in front of them. Maybe you're selling a franchise for dog washing and you put it in a dog group on LinkedIn, and it's just sort of a fun facts about the dog industry and how well they're doing and how this could be a good opportunity for you to make extra money. So imagine that being in the right group at the right time in front of the right audience with the right message. Then you bring them back to your website and they're educated and interested. They may not have woken up today thinking I want to buy a franchise, but by doing the strategy, you're educating them and putting this information in front of them. And when they read through your blog, the next step is to have a call to action on that blog, such as click here for a free consultation, a free demo, something that they can do. So that's why blog strategy is so important. Also, the question you should ask is, do you share informative articles? Do you give prospects a reason to stay, tell them others and come back frequently? And what shows up on page 1 of Google for your business name right now? These are all good things to know the answer to. Also, is your website social media friendly? So you must have fresh content, right? You must be writing and posting new blogs for SEO. Also, you need to have social content. You should be providing interesting content that others will enjoy and share, and make sure that it is easy to share. It's very easy to have these buttons on your website, the likes, the retweets, the pins, all of that. So make sure that every page of your website has these buttons. Actually, I had a situation where I did an event and I had someone retweet it from my website to her 10,000 followers, and it sold out within a matter of 10 minutes. So imagine that person would not have sent 10,000 emails to each individual person, but if I make it easy enough for them to click a button and it goes out to their audience, that's something they would absolutely do. So make sure that your website is social media friendly. Also, make sure that you have what's, call to action. And literally 3 seconds is how much time you have to grab someone's attention when they load up your website. So another thing to know is something called above the fold. This means that before they scroll down, what shows up when they bring up your website? This is premium real estate. So what you don't want to do is have a statement that says, we've been in business for 300 years. Unfortunately, no one really cares. What they want to know the answer to is, can you solve my problem? So make sure that whatever that statement is very clearly defines that they are in the right place and that you can solve their problem. So that should really be your mantra throughout your marketing. Also, see if you can't grab that email, because getting their email is like gold. If they leave your website and you did not get their email address, they may never come back and that chance is lost. But if you can collect their email, then you have an opportunity to continue marketing to them through email campaigns and so forth. So see if you can't come up with an offer for exchange of their email address, whether it's a free webinar, a free download, a free trial, free consultation. Think about something that you can offer of value that will allow them to give you their email address. So your little homework here, your social media kickstart action plan is, what can you give away for free in exchange for a potential lead's email address? Make some notes, some ideas, and think about implementing those strategies, and think about putting them on your homepage, because again, we have 3 seconds. We only have a small amount of time to capture that lead. What is it that we can give away that will help us capture that email address? Also, is your website mobile friendly? Obviously, we understand that mobile devices have become bigger than PC sales. We understand all of these stats, but the fact is that the mobile internet is becoming the internet. So many more people today actually access these social media networks and websites through their mobile phone. And 57% of users will not recommend a poorly designed mobile site. I am the same way. If I bring up a website on my phone and it's hard to navigate, the next button I click is the X. I just really don't have the patience to try to get a site that's not mobile friendly to work. So this is a critical piece. I also want to have fun and talk about, mobile. It's really a love story. We literally love our cell phones, right? We have fallen in love with them. Thing to note is that they're always on. If our cell phone is down to 2%, we are in panic mode. We have left events because our cell phone has run out of battery life, right? We understand the panic of a phone not charged. And we also tend to charge them just like when we sleep. So that phone typically is right there on our nightstand charging. Sometimes at the end of the day, I feel like my phone. I'll look at my phone and it'll say 20% and I'll say, me too. It's kind of been a long day for both of us. So that phone is always on, always charged. That's just the way it is. And if we go to work and we forget our phone at home, trust that we are going back home to get that phone. And we'll explain to the boss later. I mean, we really can't function without that phone. Obviously, it's a pocket computer, right? It is something amazing device that can give us access to anything we want to know in a matter of minutes. And I like to have fun with this part because if you think about where we've been, right? The pocket computer with limitless amounts of apps. It's funny to think about, this is literally a picture of the first computer on the left-hand side that was created. And look at how huge this is. And it's kind of funny, the guy says, I'm going to need a bigger desk. And obviously, we can also remember the Oregon Trail, which was the high-tech video game of choice back in the day. And there's a nice little Apple computer. So again, it just shows where we've been, with our computers and where we're going. It's pretty amazing. Also, I think it's really neat to note that our mobile devices are a shopping tool, right? How amazing that we can, in a matter of seconds, have something delivered to us within days or possibly hours with Amazon Prime. And I really get a kick out of this meme here called Primnesia, when you order so much Amazon Prime that you literally don't know what's in the box. So I think that's kind of funny. Also, it's amazing to note that our mobile phone is a navigation device, right? It provides real-time traffic reports. I find it interesting to think back to our MapQuest days. I'm not even sure how we got anywhere when we would have to print out those pieces of paper and try to drive and look at the piece of paper and back and forth. And you might even remember the triptych, right? Those were the days where you had the map and you just drove on long trips using the tip trick, as well as the Garmin, right? And a lot of these things, like the Garmin, has now been replaced with the Waze app. I don't know if you've used this app, pretty amazing, highly recommend you look into it. But the Waze app will actually show you in real time the best way to get to your destination based on traffic. It'll also tell you where the cops are, gas stations, all sorts of things. Pretty amazing tool. But that just shows you how far our mobile phones have come. It is now a navigation device. Also, you might remember some of these old pictures here on the left where we have the Handycam Sony. I did actually have one of those. The Kodak camera there and the old film cartridge and the RCA huge camcorder there. I remember those coming out at Christmas time, and videoing the family. But what's amazing today is that you can live stream from anywhere in the world with your mobile phone now. Mevo is a tool that we use here at Web Strategy Plus that allows us to live stream our events nationwide. And it's pretty amazing because with the click of a button, you're broadcasting on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, LinkedIn, Instagram, you name it, in a matter of seconds, which is pretty amazing to see where we've come from where we've been. Also, not to forget that handy little pager that we used to have, right? I'm sure some of us can remember having a pager, and we can also remember rushing to find a payphone to make a phone call, and that 911 meant to hurry up and make that call fast. And what I find interesting now today is we really can't even find payphones. In fact, when I went to Hawaii, a friend of mine who's a millennial actually asked me to take a picture of her using a payphone so she could post it on her Instagram account. And I kind of laughed because I thought to myself that literally was something that was pretty commonly used back in my day. So the mobile phone today, obviously that texting, right? It's amazing. We get instant messages and we can instantly reply. That wasn't the case, it seems not too long ago. Also, I have a lot of fun with this meme where it's a picture of a Blockbuster card sitting in the ground here, and it says, "Oh my God, I found a fossil," which I find funny because I remember that used to be our Friday nights, right? Going out to Blockbuster with the entire family, waiting for that movie to come in, and if not, hoping that it comes in. And now, of course, we have Netflix and Hulu and all those live streaming services. So I just have some fun here going down through memory lane and just imagining, wow, see where we've been, where we're going, who knows where we go from here. So just kind of a fun trip to take. So I want to talk about step 2, defining your social media marketing strategy. Okay, so some Facebook fun facts, right? This is interesting. 48% of ages 18 to 34 check Facebook when they wake up. Yes, they do. I actually am like that as well. I tend to wake up, I check my Facebook, my email, I'm doing all my social media right there before I get out of bed. So 74% of the users visit the site daily. And every 20 minutes, there's about 1 million links that are shared, 20 million friend requests are sent, and 3 million messages are sent. So pretty amazing the amount of activity that's happening on Facebook. It's available in 101 languages, and 72% have an annual income of more than 75,000. So pretty lucrative audience as well. Why are Facebook ads so powerful? I love Facebook ads. So there's something called retargeting, and you can actually add a retargeting pixel to your website, which basically means that if somebody goes to your website and visits Facebook, we can actually show them an ad on Facebook, which is pretty amazing because you don't pay for the amount of times they see that ad, you only pay when they click on that ad. And that is powerful because it takes 7 times to make a sale. So you can have someone see your ad those 7 times, and then finally they make that click, and that's when you pay. So, and you have full control of how much money you want to spend per click. You can also decide how long you want to spend that money. So there's some ability to control that spend. But also what is most attractive is the amount of targeting that you have on Facebook. So when you're doing Google ads, you pretty much can do keywords, right? What people are searching for by keyword. And those can be very expensive. I've seen people pay anywhere from $50 a keyword to 100. So with Facebook, it's very affordable, but also you can place your ad in front of people based on their age, their gender, their relationship status, education, hobbies, interest, workplace, job titles, and much, much more. So the amount of targeting that can happen on Facebook is so powerful. And the fact that we're basically on Facebook pretty much every day gives you a great opportunity to stay in front of your target audience. Absolutely. Want to also talk about why your business needs a YouTube channel. Well, YouTube is the #2 search engine in the world, and it's also owned by Google. So this is definitely something to note. It is the 3rd most visited website in the world after Google and Facebook, respectively. And Google pays more attention to videos, and that does help increase your search engine optimization. Some other interesting facts that on mobile, YouTube reaches more US aged adults between 18 and 34 than any cable network. So as we know, a lot of people today are canceling their cable, and people are actually using YouTube to watch content. So this is really good to know. And every minute, over 500 hours of videos are uploaded to YouTube. So you absolutely need to make YouTube part of your strategy. And it's really kind of easy to do, right? So what I could do today is I could go to YouTube and I could search for social media case studies. And I could create a playlist on my channel of all the best social media case studies that are out there to demonstrate that social media works. Meaning I can use other people's content to help my brand, right? And what's neat about YouTube is you can take that content, you can embed it into your website, and you can have a social media case study of the week every Wednesday, highlighting that social media case study with a call to action, as I have expressed is so important on your blog, to click here to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get more awesome content like this, right? To have fun, we used to do this thing where it was the cat video of the week, just having fun with it. We would find the funniest cat videos out there. And I had a social media community manager dedicated to looking for and finding the best cat videos. And so every day, there was a certain day of the week that we would highlight the cat video of the week. and people would subscribe to our channel to get that content. And what's funny is, of course, they could go to YouTube and find all the cat videos they want, but we were taking the time to find the best ones for them. So think about how you can create playlists and a channel that's valuable with content that already exists. Pretty amazing. Some LinkedIn fun facts. 41% of millionaires use LinkedIn, and 2 new users join every second. So just the amount of time that we've done this webinar, there have been several new users added to LinkedIn. 1 in 3 professionals on the planet are on LinkedIn, and the average user has about 930 connections. 41% of users visit LinkedIn via mobile, and HubSpot actually found that LinkedIn is 277% more effective at generating leads than Facebook and Twitter. So that is pretty amazing. As I mentioned, I get about 70% of my leads from LinkedIn using the free version. So there are definitely strategies that work on LinkedIn. It is comprised of 56% male and 44% female users. And it is good to note that it reaches just 13% of millennials. So I will say that millennials really aren't on LinkedIn, and I kind of wish they were, because I like to hire them and I like to go to LinkedIn and kind of see what their background is, who they're connected to. So I'm kind of hoping that that changes, because I'm not really sure where else they would be other than Facebook, professionally speaking, which is sometimes not so professional. So absolutely note that, millennials really aren't on it as much, but it is definitely a lucrative audience, and it is something that you want to look at for your business for sure. Also want to talk about Pinterest. Pinterest fun facts. 81% of Pinterest users are female, and 87% have purchased a product because of Pinterest. So that's something to note. Also, 93% said that they use Pinterest to plan for purchases, which is so true. People are creating dream boards. They're actually planning their weddings on Pinterest. They're putting up their Christmas list so their family can easily buy gifts for them. Think of Pinterest as a place people go to plan for future purchases. And this is something where they create boards for their dream kitchen and all of this. And all of those items can influence purchasing as they're doing the engagements on Pinterest. 2/3 of pins represent brands and products, and food, drink, and technology are actually the most popular categories. But what's interesting is the average time spent on Pinterest per visit is about 14.2 minutes, and 98% of pinners report trying new things they find on Pinterest. Also, because it is highly female, it's a fun fact that it tends to have a lot of traffic between the hours of 12 and 3 a.m., which means the moms are kind of up and doing some pinning while everybody's sleeping. It also tends to have high traffic between the hours of 2 and 5 when the kids are taking a nap and they have an opportunity to get away and kind of browse there on Pinterest. So just something to note. So why your business needs to be on Pinterest? Well, the average lifespan of a Pinterest pin is 3.5 months, which is 1,600 times longer than a Facebook post. Content on Pinterest is sticky. So we have clients that we've pinned content 2 years ago that are still getting leads from those contents. So that's something to note, that that content lives a much longer time. The lifespan of a Facebook post is 4 to 6 hours. The lifespan of a tweet is 1 hour. So you can see how much you need to post, right? So that's why we say post frequently. Because the thing with social media, it's right time, right place. Somebody has to be there to see your content. That's why it's okay to repeat your content, because somebody might have been on an airplane or they might have been driving, they didn't see your content. So it's okay to repeat it, because chances are they may not see it unless they're there at the right time in the right place. So it's interesting to note the lifespan of a Pinterest pin is much longer than other posts. Pinterest also drives 5% of all referral traffic, second only to Facebook with 25% of all referral traffic. So this is a great place to reach a female-dominated, lucrative audience of potential customers. Also, why your business needs an Instagram strategy. So Instagram helps you reach millennials who are between the ages of 18 and 24 years, earning 50 to 74,000. So if you're wondering where the millennials are, they're absolutely on Instagram. So that is something to note. And 47% of Instagram users rank the platform in their top 10 channels used for product discovery. And this makes a lot of sense, because on Instagram, you'll get to know the term influencers. These are individuals who are paid to promote certain products. And what happens is, for example, let's say you follow somebody who is a celebrity and they're promoting a curling iron on one of their Instagram stories. What's interesting is you didn't wake up that day thinking you were going to buy a curling iron, but when you're on Instagram and you see a story and they show you the product, it looks so interesting, and here's a link for 50% off, most of those millennials are clicking that button and they're buying that curling iron, and Amazon Prime brings it the next day. So that's how products are being sold on Instagram, is by these influencers. And there's other ways that you can sell on Instagram with stories and all sorts of strategies. So 51% visit the site daily and 35% check it multiple times a day. So it is a high traffic site. People are going back to see what's happening, and it's definitely something to consider, especially if you're trying to reach millennials. Some Twitter fun facts. It is the second largest social network after Facebook, and a day's worth of tweets would actually fill a 10 million page book. So some interesting facts there. 63.5% of social media managers listed Twitter as one of their top social media platforms in terms of return on investment. So that's something to note, right? There's an opportunity to really bring business in from Twitter. Also note that tweets associated with images do receive 18% more click-throughs, 89% more likes, and 150% more retweets. So having images on Twitter is critical. And as I mentioned before, the life of a tweet is 1 hour, so you must post frequently. So your social media kickstart action plan, I want you to list the social media profiles that will help you best reach your target audience online, because it's not necessary to do all of these social media networks, because the worst thing you can do is set them all up and not post, because that could look like you're out of business. I have literally gone to Facebook pages and I've seen where a company hasn't posted for 2 years and literally thought, oh my goodness, they must be out of business, which is not a look that you want, because it could be that you have so much business that you don't have time to post on social media, which is another problem in the sense that people could get the wrong impression if you're not staying on top of your social media. So it's okay to pick 2 or 3, do them well, and then add other ones. But I think it's really important to know what your target audience is and to make sure that you are participating in the right social media profiles for success. Step number 3 is to create your social media content strategy. So I love this quote. It's literally what we teach our clients, because some people come to us and say, Michelle, I don't want to post funny videos and cartoons and motivational quotes. I just want to post about my business every day. I don't want to do any of that other stuff. And this is the mantra that I have to remind them about. Make me think, make me laugh, inspire me, or teach me something new, and I'll remember you when the time comes to buy. This is so important, because people have to remember that they may not need your services today, but when they do, are you the first person they think of? That's how you know you're doing a great job of marketing. So for example, right now I don't need a plumber. That's a good thing. But if I need a plumber, who's the person that I think of first? That's the person who marketed to me the best or has the best reputation. You know, a lot of us are going out to Facebook and saying, hey guys, I need a plumber, who can you recommend? Then they're providing a link to the Facebook page. I'm looking at their Facebook page. I see that 5 friends of mine like the page, and I've got this sort of trust factor happening, and that's the decision I'm making. So it's important to have that social media presence. It's important to have that following and connection with your audience. All of it is so important. So questions to ask yourself: what makes my business so interesting that people will want to talk about it and share it with their friends? And the fact is, you can't succeed in social media if you don't have something interesting to say. So this is important, because people do not remember facts, but they do remember stories. So think about the most emotional stories that you can tell with social media. Those are the stories that people remember. For example, I know at age 11, I would be an entrepreneur because I grew up on a farm in Indiana and I was selling vegetables. And I found as a child, I was doing the marketing, right? I literally grabbed a handful of vegetables, I put them on the table, I walked up the gravel road, I put my vegetables on the table with my friend Michael. We walked to the end of the gravel road with a hammer and nails, and I had a sign that said, vegetables for sale. Hammered it up, and then we started walking back down the gravel road. We noticed all these cars whizzing by and said, oh my goodness, they're going to buy our vegetables. And we started running down the gravel road to our little shop that had just a handful of vegetables on a table. You know, they were probably expecting a big elaborate thing, but we were just little kids. And that was kind of fun, you know, but that's just an example of where I can see I had that entrepreneur mindset at a young age, and it's a fun story to reflect on. But that's a story, and that's what people will remember more so than the facts. So that's where you want to dig a little bit deeper and think about those stories that you have to tell. When it comes to your social media posting strategy, here's a nice outline. You have search engine optimized blogs. You should be doing 2 to 4 per month. You should be posting on Facebook every day. You should be tweeting 3 to 5 times per day, pinning 2 to 4 times a day on your personal profile, 1 post a day, as well as a post per week to targeted groups on LinkedIn, posting each day on your company page on LinkedIn. You should have your email newsletter 2 times going out per month, which means you could actually have your blogs being promoted to your email subscribers as well. You should be adding a video to your YouTube playlist every week so that they get notifications that you're active. And you should be posting every day on Instagram. So there's a lot of activity, as you can see, but it's okay to post the same content across all channels at the same time, because what we don't have is 10 cell phones and we're on multiple platforms all at once. So it is okay to share that content across, because again, social media is right time, right place. They may not see it, you know, depending on where they're at in their day or what social profile they're on. So if you're struggling with a strategy, here are some content ideas. So I like to break it down so that on Mondays, I have motivational quotes. On Tuesdays, I'm promoting my testimonials. On Wednesdays, I'm talking about what to do on the weekend. Thursday, I can have fun trivia questions. Friday could be just funny comics, cartoons. Saturday could be a shout out to strategic businesses. And Sunday is just fun day, you know, make up something. So it's a lot easier to come up with a strategy when you're thinking in advance. So I teach my clients how to be more proactive versus reactive. We create 12-month social media calendars so that we can think about the special events that we want for Mother's Day and Father's Day and all the neat things that we want to do, so that we have 8 weeks to market an event and can get great attendance for that event because we've marketed it for a long enough time. And we're also able to think through different blog posting strategies and bigger picture things to help them really plan for the year instead of just creating a post and posting it at 2 a.m., you know, when it's not as effective. So it really helps them to plan. Also, want you to think about 7 weekly topics you can post about, right? So this is a good exercise to think about, so that instead of you thinking, oh my goodness, I need 30 days of content, now you're saying, I just need 4 motivational quotes, 4 testimonials. You know, you're just filling in those buckets. So having your 7 weekly topics will help you get that strategy in alignment. Also, you absolutely need to invest in a social media management dashboard, right? Because I can't imagine you manually posting to all of these places one by one and still running a business. It's just not feasible. So you're going to need to invest in a social media management dashboard. It's a very good investment. So we actually use Send Social Media as an agency. We've seen them all, you know, all the dashboard tools out there. And this is the one that to us is the all-in-one solution, right? It has access to all the tools we need instead of paying to 10 different tools. This kind of combines everything we need into one. So you can schedule your content to post to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google My Business, Pinterest, and several more. You can also schedule repeating posts. This is one of the few dashboards that allows you to schedule an event and have it repeat, you know, every day, every week, every hour. As you've probably seen with other dashboards, you have to schedule it every single time. This is a huge time saver for us. It also helps us find the most popular hashtags, and we can post to multiple platforms with multiple custom messages, which is nice because we know that on Instagram you can't have links, and you can have so many characters on Twitter, and you can do hashtags on LinkedIn now. So it allows us to take the one message we're doing up front and customize it as we go, saving lots of time. Also allows you to monitor your brand across the web. You can monitor keyword conversations. And again, logging in and replying to all your social media networks from one dashboard is so helpful. So we don't have to log in or forget a password. So again, Send Social Media is the tool we use. But either way, if you're going to create a strategy, you're definitely going to need to invest in a social media management dashboard. Step number 4 is to connect and build your community. So one thing that's nice is we have Facebook and all these other platforms, but I want you to remember that those platforms are renting space. I had a client that said, hey, Michelle, I don't really think I need a website. I just want to have my Facebook page. And I just let her know that that's a bit concerning for me because unfortunately, if something happens to that Facebook page, there is no 1-800 number to call Mark Zuckerberg or, fix that page. If an admin gets access to it, if you go to Panera and it gets hacked, that's gone. A good example of that is a lady who has a Facebook group with 60,000 people connected on it. And it's like, if for some reason that Facebook group has an issue, she has lost all of those people. She really needs to get those people converted to an email marketing list, her CRM database. She needs to get them to her own website because, as you know, Facebook changes products and tools and strategies all the time. So something that worked may not work. So also think about how you can create your own community. So some ideas for creating social media communities: you could create a LinkedIn group, you could create a Facebook group. You could even invest in Ning.com, which is a website that creates a turnkey social media network. But the thing to note is that you need to be using these platforms to drive traffic to your website to get people to sign up to your email newsletter. Keep that in mind. So for a LinkedIn group, I want to give an example. We have a client who wanted to name the group ABC Company. And I said, well, let's think a bit deeper. Who do you want to attract? And they said, well, we sell the ability for realtors to do transactions online digitally. I said, so let's create a group called the Real Estate Advice Club. And once we named that group correctly, we actually were able to attract all these realtors to join the group. And now they have a powerful network that they can post their blog content to and drive people back to their website. So that is the power of creating a good group and naming it well. A community does need a leader. So make sure that you clearly define the purpose of your community, right? You really need to say, we are a community that helps people do X, Y, Z. Don't make them guess on if they should join or not. Clearly state the purpose. Make sure that if you have this community, you're monitoring and engaging in conversations. Obviously, a good community will attract customers, influence, and opportunities. So this is something you really need to be thinking about. Also, if you want to take it to a step further, you may want to consider creating a content hub. This is your all-powerful magnet. I have actually created a content hub called socialmediaenthusiast.com, and it started with one very small idea that turned into a very grand idea. So I went to meetup.com and I created the Cincinnati Social Media Enthusiasts. I think we're up to 1,000 members, and I was here in Cincinnati doing local free lunch and learns and connecting with my local community, and it's going really, really well. And I found that I wanted to scale my business nationwide. And so I said, let me create a couple more groups. So I did Columbus, Indianapolis. Next thing you know, I have 22 chapters nationwide in all the major cities. By the way, all the major cities that I like to visit, like Orlando and Denver and San Diego, because why not? But the idea is that I took a very small idea and I expanded it. Then I created a group on LinkedIn for all of those cities in Cincinnati, Denver, et cetera, and I also created those groups on Facebook. So now what I have at my fingertips are access to people in all of those major cities. So if I want to do an event, I can send a blast out to all of the people in my LinkedIn group, to the Facebook group in that city, as well as now I've created socialmediaenthusiast.com. And with that network I've created, I am also accepting people to provide content as an author on Social Media Enthusiasts so that people can promote themselves through my network, which is helping them and it's also helping me. And I also have ads on the site for other various products that I offer. That is your all-powerful magnet. It's called a content hub. It allows you to demonstrate thought leadership, generates visibility and traffic. It helps inspire engagement and controls the experience, and it generates leads. Of course, it builds strategic relationships. So there are other examples of content hubs. If you want to look at them, go out to American Express and search Open Forum. This is a website where it actually was one of the top ways that they sell credit cards, because they asked someone like myself to provide social media content to their Open Forum. And for me, I was really happy to be part of this, honored actually to be an author. And so I would submit my content to them and they would promote it to all of their people, which would get exposure to my business, but also provided a valuable place for great content for American Express. And of course, their credit card ads were throughout the site, and they converted tons of business from that strategy. P&G did something similar called beinggirl.com, where they created a content hub of information for kids going through puberty and various things, and they sold a lot of feminine products throughout the site by just being an open community for people of that age group. So pretty amazing and very effective strategy. Step number 5 is to engage with your community. So how to do that first is to find your target audience online with keywords. So I have a very defined strategy that I teach people, as well as when we bring a client on, we make sure that we have answers to all of these questions and many, many more to clearly define their target audience. Because one thing that we've determined is that if we can get the answers to these questions, we can find their target audience online. It's actually pretty amazing. So the first question is, what is the problem your product or service solves? We'll find keywords in that answer that will help us find your target audience. Do these potential customers own a certain thing that you can help them with? This is sometimes thinking a little bit out of the box, because if you're a money coach, you might be solving a problem, or a thing that they own is a money problem. Could be stress. So there's a lot of keywords associated when you answer that question that you may not have thought about. We also look at statistics, facts about this target audience. What are their job titles? What keywords would they use to describe themselves? And what keywords or phrases would they use in conversation? This is all gold for my team when it comes to finding the target audience online. So we can use all that information, and we can find the right people to build relationships with. So what's important is social media engagement. That is what drives leads, okay? So a lot of our competitors simply post to social media, right? They just post to the people on the Facebook page. And I attribute that to kind of talking to people in the same room with the door closed. I mean, it's nice to be talking to those folks, but what are you doing to open that door and meet new people? So that's what social media engagement is. It's literally building those relationships, finding the right people, getting in the right rooms to get those people to know about your business and building that relationship. So I look at it like networking, right? Wouldn't it be nice to go to a networking event where the 500 people in the room are all your leads, versus going to a networking event where there's only 10 people that you should meet and you didn't even meet them? So our agency actually helps people to find the right people, to be in the right room, at the right place, at the right time. And most importantly, building those relationships. Because when you go to a networking event, you don't typically go up to somebody and say, hey, buy my stuff, right? You build a relationship with them. You say, hey, what part of town are you from? Oh, you have kids too. Oh, I went to school there as well. I have a dog and a cat. You build that relationship. That is the same thing that social media engagement is about. It's about creating lead lists, whether they're on LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook, and in making sure that the people you want to build the relationships, that you're liking their content, sharing, retweeting, commenting. You know, the more that you can do these activities, the faster they're going to get to know you, and they're going to be curious about who you are. And this works. So that is something that our agency, we teach people how to do it. We actually do it for our clients. But it's not enough to simply post, right? Engaging in conversations with your target audience will help build relationships and strengthen your brand image. Of course, prolonged engagement will build brand loyalty and ultimately result in customers being brand advocates. And what we found is Twitter is the #1 place for social media engagement. Because with Twitter, we can easily research trending hashtags and keep your business engaged in those popular Twitter conversations. With Twitter, you can find and engage with your target audience. So for example, if I am selling a back pain relief device, it's so easy for me. All I have to do is type in the keyword chiropractor. And because people list who they are on Twitter, I can find all of those leads, and I can build relationships with all those chiropractors to sell my products and services. So that's just one tactic, one strategy. Another strategy that worked for us is we were able to find the keyword my dog. So we have a client who sells dog food to a 50-mile radius of their store. And so we can use Twitter to search for that mile radius and literally see people tweeting about my dog. So they may say, I love my dog, taking my dog for a walk. You know, that's the keyword set, is my dog. And when they tweet, we can actually tweet to them, hey, enter your dog to win the cutest dog contest. And if you're like me and you have animals, you have those pictures on your phone, you upload, you enter to win, you share with your friends, and guess what? They have now identified that you own a dog within a 50-mile radius and you are their potential customer. That's how these strategies work, wildly successful. So Twitter is one of the best places for that engagement. Also, make sure that you're connecting with prospects and clients, especially on LinkedIn, right? So 62% of business owners report having gained new clients from LinkedIn. So after a phone call or meeting with a new client, make sure that you connect with them on LinkedIn. You can even say, hey, you know what? I'm going to send you a request on LinkedIn when I get back to my office. And what I recommend is sitting down with your stack of business cards and search for those folks on LinkedIn and send them a message. It was nice meeting you at XYZ event. I'd love to connect, or maybe you even throw in a fun fact that you learned about them. Really nurture that relationship, but make those connections on LinkedIn right away. So also want to teach you a bit about what else you can do. So if you have learned a lot today, that's fantastic. But if you're somebody who's hungry to learn more, wanted to introduce you to some other programs that I offer. I do teach social media management certification boot camp classes. These are 9 to 5. I have a beginner class that happens on Mondays, and I have an advanced class that happens on Tuesdays. And if you pass the class, you will get a certificate for these achievements. I do have a promo code to get $50 off if you use WSP, and some links here to get access to these events. Also, want to give you a quick outline of what the beginner content will give you. So we have a 101 class for targeted marketing strategies. So you can define your social media strategy to find those leads on social media. 102 is to help you develop your content marketing strategy. So we'll help you have an editorial calendar created. We actually use Trello. So I'm going to literally give you a template to have you hit the ground running. Also going to teach you how to design with Canva. And so you'll have everything you need for your content strategy. And finally, we'll have 103, which is executing your content marketing strategy, where I'm going to teach you how to use a social media posting tool and get everything done. So it's a 9 to 5 boot camp class. You get everything you need out the door to hit the ground running. And if you are already experienced in social media, you may be interested in the advanced class, where 202, I teach advanced targeting marketing strategies, pay-per-click ad strategies for Facebook, blog network marketing, landing page development, QR codes, text campaigns. 203 is teaching advanced content marketing strategies, where I go into detail about email autoresponders, loyalty programs, hypnotic headline writing, advanced content creation strategies using Trello and Canva. And finally, the 204 is enhanced social media dashboard strategies. So we go into link frames, how to assign tasks, real-time conversation monitoring, how to create evergreen content, how to get Google Analytics understood for results, and also get your review management system set up. So that is something that is available. And also, if you'd like to save time and get results, of course, you can hire us here at Web Strategy Plus for social media management. You would get a dedicated social media community manager. You would have your social media content editorial calendar created. We'll help you create posts and hashtag strategies, writing content, promoting it through ad networks, email marketing and list building, as well as daily engagement with your targeted customers. We'll be doing A/B testing for ads. We can do Facebook, LinkedIn, and or Google. We can help you promote your events, contests, and also create branded images, videos, and do Instagram and Facebook stories, and much, much more. So thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it. Hopefully you have learned some great information that you can hit the ground running for your social media plan. And thanks again. Have a great day.